You're at a birthday party. Someone pulls out their phone, shouts, everyone squeeze in. And before you even process what's happening, you've already taken 3 steps backward, found a reason to hold a cup in front of your face, or suddenly become very interested in something on the other side of the room. Sound familiar? If it does, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not weird. But here's what most people get wrong about this. They assume it's about vanity. They think people who hate photos are either too self-conscious or too humble. The truth is far more interesting than that. And today, we're going to unpack exactly what's going on in the mind of someone who genuinely, deeply, almost instinctively avoids the camera. Let's start with the most obvious place, the mirror. Every single day, you see your own face. You know your angles, your expressions, the slight asymmetry that everyone has, but only you notice on yourself. Your brain has built a very specific internal image of what you look like. Psychologists call this your self-schema, essentially a mental blueprint of your identity, including your appearance. And here's the fascinating part. That internal image is almost never what a camera captures. Photographs freeze a single millisecond of your face in a way your mirror never does. So when you see a photo of yourself and think, that doesn't look like me, you're actually right. It doesn't look like the version of you that your brain has carefully constructed over years. That disconnect alone is enough to make someone deeply uncomfortable. But let's go deeper, because this isn't just about appearances. For many people, the discomfort around photos is rooted in something called a loss of control. Think about it. The moment someone points a camera at you, you didn't choose that. You didn't choose the lighting, the angle, the expression on your face mid-sentence, or what happens to that image afterward. In a world where we spend enormous energy curating how we present ourselves, what we say, how we dress, how we walk into a room, a photograph strips all of that away in a fraction of a second. Psychologically, that's not trivial. Research in self-determination theory tells us that autonomy, the feeling of being in control of your own narrative, is one of the deepest human needs. A camera, in many ways, is the fastest way to take that away. Now here's something that doesn't get talked about enough. A significant number of people who hate being photographed are actually highly self-aware individuals. Not in an anxious, neurotic way, in a genuinely reflective, inward-focused way. These are often people who are deeply conscious of how they exist in the world. They're the ones who replay conversations in their head, who think carefully before speaking, who notice subtleties that others breeze past. For someone like that, being photographed isn't just uncomfortable. It feels almost philosophically wrong, like being asked to reduce a complex, living, breathing human experience into a flat, static JPEG. And honestly, that's not an irrational response. That's a person who takes their own depth seriously. There's also an element of vulnerability that's easy to underestimate. Photographs are permanent in a way that moments are not. A conversation fades. A mood passes. But a photo? A photo can be shared, saved, screenshotted, and sent to someone you've never met. For people who carry even a mild undercurrent of social anxiety, and studies suggest that's far more common than we admit, that permanence feels genuinely threatening. It's not paranoia. It's a very logical response to a world where images travel faster than context ever could. And then there's something almost poetic happening on a deeper level. Some people who hate photos aren't afraid of how they look at all. They're afraid of the emotional weight of being seen. Really seen. There's a difference between existing in a room full of people and being frozen in a frame that someone else holds. The philosopher Sartre once wrote about the gaze, the idea that being looked at by another person fundamentally changes how you experience yourself. A photograph is the gaze made permanent. For someone who guards their inner world carefully, that can feel like an intrusion, not a celebration. So what does all of this mean for you? If you hate being photographed, it doesn't mean you're broken or overly sensitive or hiding something. It might mean you have a rich inner life that resists oversimplification. It might mean you value authenticity over performance. It might mean your brain is doing exactly what it's designed to do, protecting your sense of self, your autonomy, and your boundaries. Those aren't flaws. Those are signs of a person who thinks carefully about how they move through the world. And here's the perspective shift I want to leave you with. The next time someone thrusts a phone in your face and you feel that familiar resistance rising, don't fight it or dismiss it. Pause and recognize it for what it actually is. Not insecurity, not vanity, not awkwardness. It's your mind drawing a boundary around something it considers sacred. Your identity, your narrative, your story told on your own terms. You're not a photograph. You never were. And the psychology of someone who knows that, that's actually something worth understanding.